In 2004, Kanye West released The College Dropout. Then approximately 20 years later, Playboi Carti released Music. These albums are completely different from each other. However, they both have features from notable artists at their respective times. Kanye West had a feature list including Mos Def, Jay-Z, GLC, Jamie Foxx, and various others. Playboi Carti also had the likes of Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, and Lil Uzi Vert on Music, though they both use features differently. Kanye West had 2 features for nearly every song on The College Dropout, whereas Playboi Carti doesn't have features on most of Music. Why could this be? I asked while scratching the hair of my chinny chin chin. Well, it just so happens to be that most of Music's songs are less than 3 minutes. Meanwhile, the College Dropout songs are very long, sometimes exceeding the 5-minute mark. So why could this be? Well, in this episode of Hip Hop Geographic, we will discuss the death of the third verse. But first, you need know the conventional structure of a rap song, or really any song. In terms of structure, you have the verses, which are the actual rapping part. They're typically 16 bars long. Then you have the chorus, aka the hook. That's the singy part of the song, gets sung in your head, which is usually 8 bars long. Then there's the bridge. This one's optional, but it creates contrast for a brief moment, usually 4 to 8 bars. But alas, the conventional structure of a rap song is to have a verse, chorus, and a verse or bridge, then a final. Some folks also like adding in a 4-bar pre-chorus and shortening the verses to 12 bars. However, pre-choruses don't show up very often in rap music and almost exclusively appear in pop-leaning rap songs. Pop-leaning rap songs have existed for decades and involve more synthetic production with more electronic modular sound. This subgenre of hip-hop, dubbed trap, is intentionally very easy to make for a genre that is already very easy to make. This led to an explosion of burgeoning creatives on SoundCloud. The likes of 21 Savage, Future, and Lil Uzi Vert captivated listeners with at the time new and fresh sound. This also led to the rise of now iconic producers like OZ, Metro Boomin, and Southside, who were there to provide the new sound to whoever wanted it. Of course, calling this sound new and fresh is kinda ironic, as practically every rap song these days, and country songs for some reason, use trap beats. With this sound, lyrics often take a back seat to let the vibe of the song take over. This doesn't give songs a very long shelf life though. The vibe tends to overstay its welcome after about 3 minutes, which is what makes these songs really short. So, video over, right? Wrong! We still need to talk about features. Features are an aspect of basically any genre, and they involve paying for an artist to have a verse on the song. Some artists may do features for free, others only do features for people they respect. So WGG, couldn't get an Andre 3000 feature. For example, songs back in the day had much more features. This is because albums were much shorter due to hardware limitations. One couldn't legally listen to songs for free online, so CDs and vinyl cassettes were all one has, and they all cost money. Suffice to say, it was paramount to keep albums as short as possible, usually under 50 minutes. This is because vinyl is able to hold 50 minutes of audio in a standard 12-inch 33 RPM disc across 2 sides before the quality starts to degrade. Should a record be any more than 50 minutes of audio, then it would need to be split between multiple discs, costing a lot of money. In addition to how much vinyl already costs to manufacture, made record labels all but need to release successful albums consistently. So a lot of albums had a lot of features, as they were essential to making an album successful. Some songs even have multiple features, like Spaceship off the College Dropout with 3 different verses from 3 different rappers. Short form content is also a factor in this. There are many apps that exist today that offer videos in a 9:16 aspect ratio in conjunction with a passive viewing experience. These content formats act as mediums to inject as much content directly into your eye holes as possible. Most of the content is typically very low effort and often utilizes generative AI tools like Sora as well as voice synthesizers. This has caused many other non-short form versions of content to be formatted like TikToks. Mr. Beast is the largest creator on YouTube with over 400 million subscribers, which is like a cartoon number, by the way. Nevertheless, Mr. Beast tends to format some of his videos like TikTok compilations with a new event or challenge every 2 to 3 minutes. In fact, this very video is formatted like a TikTok compilation, albeit subtly. As YouTube has evolved to become a glorified TikTok compilation, so too did streaming services. Hip-hop has already been a pretty high-energy genre, but making every song 2 verses, if that, rubs some the wrong way. Now, in this current era of music, songs are beginning to lose their second verse. Some songs are just a chorus, verse, chorus, and outro. Playboi Carti has 1 verse on Evil Jordan, and that's it. No chorus, no nothing, just a super long intro, verse, outro. This just feels incomplete to me. The only long songs from this era are from the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, but it was just because they genuinely hated each other and wanted to talk as much trash as possible. If you're worried about songs getting shorter and shorter, I want to leave you with a lyric from East Coast rapper and producer Q-Tip. Okay, get ready for my crappy rapping right here. You can find the abstract listening to hip hop.
My pops used to say it reminded him of bebop. I said, well, daddy, don't you know that things go in cycles?
See, hip hop is in the midst of its 90s and noughties influence with Neptunes-esque beats on albums like Chromacopia, and soon hip-hop will be in its 2010s influence. And what album released in 2010? My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West. This album was very maximalist, with songs regularly exceeding the 6-minute mark. So when hip-hop experiences its 2010s influence, it might just be the rebirth of the third verse, because, as we all know, things go in cycles.